BuukBug, stories that count.
Winter Barn by Dorothy Ripley, illustrated by Pat Schories. A misty moon was circled red and heavy clouds hung overhead. "I smell snow," the farmer said. In the winter the world goes to sleep early. As the sun goes down, the animals go to the barn to keep warm for the night. Late one very chilly night, the country changed from dark to white. No one felt the cold wind blow. No one heard the silent snow. It covered everything in sight. All the world was winter white, drifting in the morning light. The farmer rose at the crack of dawn, stared through the window, and said with a yawn, "Snow." He blew his nose and pulled on his clothes and said, "Let her come. Let he blow." The barn keeps warm with a roof of snow. There was hay in the hayloft, some of the best. Grain in the feed room, hens on the nest. September corn was stowed away, waiting for a winter day. There are good smells in the bard of corn and clover and cow's breath. Clean, sweet straw and soft animals with manes and tails. Safe in the nard, you could heard the wind rattle. Open the door and see all the cattle. The big red bull with a twisted horn. The mother cows all happy and warm, chewing their cud in spite of the storm. Here are the calves and the horses and sheep. Lambs with mothers behind them creep. The spotted pigs are now sound asleep, piled in a heap with a dream to keep. Here is the silo all misty and warm. And these are the mice that live in the corn. Here is the ladder that leads to the loft, where kittens are hiding all furry and soft. Deep in the darkness, the tiger cats chase after pigeons, sparrows, and bats. Oats for the horses are cooking and steaming. Dusty windows are frosty and gleaming. Everything inside the barn is scheming to keep the winter barn warm. The snow piles up and the roof stays warm. Hay bales keep the hayloft warm. And animal heat keeps the barn warm, all on a cold winter day. Some sheep and horses grow long coats. They live outside on hay and oats. In woolly shapes they stand the storm, with snow and fur to keep them warm. Under the barn where the straw is deep, young cows feed and go to sleep. Sheltered from the wind, they hide and watch the weather from inside. The snow keeps falling all the day. By evening, clouds have blown away. A bright full moon is peeking through, and shadows on the snow turn blue. Hungry animals start to paw. They moo and whinny and watch the door. Horses neigh and stamp their feet. Feeding time. It's time to eat. The farmer comes to do the chores. Roosters crow and the red bull roars. He lifts his head with the twisted horn to watch the farmer bring his corn. The farmer feeds the hungry stock and gathers eggs from his feathered flock. When all his chores are finally done, the farmer checks on everyone. He hays the rows of contented cows, adds some sawdust for the sows. Pats the horses, says, "Good night." Sees that all the calves look bright. Good night to smells of manes and tails. To sawdust, calves, and clover bales. "Good night," says collie with a bark, to shapes and feathers in the dark. The moon comes up and casts a glow on frozen footsteps in the snow. Close the door. Turn out the light. A tired farmer says, "Good night."
Stories that count. Subscribe now for more.